you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. We are jumping right ahead, and let's go to um, chapter 6 in John. The fourth sign, feeding of the 5,000. After this, Jesus crossed the Sea of Galilee, or Tiberias. A huge crowd was following him because they saw signs that he was performing by healing the sick. Jesus went up the mountain and sat down with his disciples. Now the Passover, a Jewish festival, was near. So when Jesus looked up and noticed a huge crowd coming towards him, he asked Philip, "Where will we buy bread so that these people can eat?" He asked to test him, for he himself knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread wouldn't be enough for each of them to have a little. In other words, there was a great deal of people. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There's a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what are they for so many?" Jesus says, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, so they sat down. The men numbered about 5,000. Then Jesus took the loaves. After giving thanks, he distributed them to those who were seated, and so with the fish. I'm reading now the Purple Bible again. When they were full, he told his disciples, "Collect the leftovers so that nothing is wasted." So they collected them and filled 12 baskets with the pieces from the 5 barley loaves, so that were left over by those who had eaten. When the people saw the sign they had done, they said, "Truly is the prophet who come to this world." Therefore, when Jesus realized that they were about to come and take him by force to make him king, he withdrew again to the mountain by himself. He didn't want to be king, apparently. It's like, whoa, my goodness sakes. He was just a young fella. And so I would like to hear your comments on this. You could put it down below. It's very interesting that, they had, what was it like? And I think we did this in a different period, the same story. And feeding of the 5,000, and then they, like 2 little barley loaves and a couple little fish, and they ended up with 5 basketfuls left over. And it's kind of a reproduction miracle, wouldn't you say? And so anyway, we have to think about, we keep talking about how the economy is supposed to crash. And we're supposed to save up a lot of food in our homes. And many of the people in my group live in apartments, and they have a little cupboard, and when it's full, it's full. And they don't know how to get around that. Like, why don't you take this canned goods and put them in baking sheets and shove them underneath your bed? Just some big cookie sheets, and just line up or a box and put them under your bed. They don't think that far. I have a real slow group. And let's see here. What do we got here? Can we see these? Plastic drums. There you go. Big plastic drums. You can pick them up at Walmart. And I would really suggest doing this because you can put dried goods in there. But, Jesus might have fed the 5,000 2,000 years ago, but it really is smart. It's intelligent to store away as much as you can. I put dried goods and things like this, rice, beans, And if you don't eat it, you could trade with it. Like my niece has got a farm. She raises chickens and eggs. Hey, eggs are good. Eggs are good. And I enjoy using them. My church group enjoys eating them because they're Easter eggs. They come in blue and brown and beige and speckled and all kinds of colors from these different chickens, different types of species of chickens, and it's fun. So anyway, that's kind of the analogy with that. We could, and they said during the Great Tribulation, those Christians left behind will see miracles a lot like this, where they would pray over some bread and a few things on the kitchen table and it would just reproduce. It'll just reproduce. That is what we are told that what will happen. Because they just live by faith. They won't take the mark because that's giving allegiance to whatever emperor that takes over the earth. And they will just live simply. And until Christ comes back. And so and people criticize governments like socialism, communism. After Christ comes back, you're going to see that and it will work. Everybody will be out there for each other and they will share. That's how I was raised. Weren't you? You don't keep stuff just for yourself to hoard it. You share with everybody. You take care of other people. That's why we're here. That's how I was raised. I'm presently now trying to get a larger home. I have friends that periodically will end up needing a place to stay for a short time. They're in between apartments or houses. Something's happened and they need someone to stay with. And that always drives me crazy because I end up babysitting people. Things disappear. The women always go for the jewelry box. The little junk jewelry in there. Things disappear. And you got to keep an eye on them. And so it's, I as I get older, I do less and less babysitting like that. But anyway, next time we go through, we'll go through the 5th sign, which is walking on water. And we'll continue on with this little Bible study running through John. Thank you. Bye-bye.